But who is? Just as we discussed yesterday, we're having a study group today. But who is her escort?
お邪魔します。あ、その服。
I was gonna point him out too.
誕生日にもらった服だよ。どう似合ってるかな？はい、似合ってますよ。
Yeah, you look cute. And the size is just right, thankfully. Yeah. Which area are you referring to in front of Chieri? Chieri moves closer to the happily smiling Mikuri and starts talking to her.
胸のところとか苦しくないですか？なんで？全然平気だよ。ならいいんですけど。
What's the matter, Chieri?
いえ、なんでもないです。
I wonder what they were talking about. Chieri looks like she has mixed emotions about it. Yeah, she might have a cold. But she said that it's okay. So let's get down to business. Today you're working on Japanese, right, Mikuri? But that shouldn't take too long, so when you finish, let's work on English too.
はーい。みくりさん、国語は大丈夫なんですか？
I don't think she can read. That's right. It seems like she's practically good at classical literature. Grammar aside, she's able to read a lot. I think that she's better at reading unfamiliar text than I am. Actually, let me think about it. No. By the way he says it, it makes more sense that she's more familiar with older Japanese, right? Because she's from a village that's like very, very fucking old, and I'm sure the literature there hasn't been updated in a while, right? It's basically like Shakespearean English to modern day English, and that's what I'm trying to compare it to. Well, she's an actual shrine maiden, after all.
なるほど。でもさ、何のために勉強するの？学校は楽しいけど、勉強はめんどくさいよ。
Going to the academy is only fun when you aren't when it isn't an exam day. Well, the why is to expand our options for the future, I guess.
将来？
Yes, the future. For example, if you want to be a doctor, you need to understand science. If you want to work abroad, then you'll need to know English.
でも私、神社で巫女してるよ。それ以外なんて想像できないよ。
Actually, I can't really imagine what I might do in the future myself. Yeah, but at least you've got a job lined up for yourself already, you know? But I think that I might find a goal for myself while I study, so I figure I should do so while I have the chance. She doesn't seem very convinced. Neither am I, really. It's a pretty tough question.
白川さんは自分の勉強はいいんですか？
Yeah, the exams are covering stuff that I already finished at the place I went to before. I got lucky. By the way, Chieri, are you still agonizing over those math questions that you couldn't solve?
どうしてわかったんですか？
I saw your notes last night. Sorry. Also, you hate losing, but if I say that, you'll get upset, so I'll keep my mouth shut about that. Yeah.
どうすれば解けるようになるでしょうか？
There's no easy shortcut to getting the answer. If you don't know how to solve the problem, the trick is figuring out what to do when there's a problem you can't solve. What? So take 10 minutes to think about it, and if you still don't have a clue, let's look at the answer.
それでいいんですか?
You're very diligent, so you'll want to keep trying until you've solved it. But there's only so much time, especially since you're still working. What you need most to solve math problems is experience. For now, you need to learn the fundamentals, even if that means looking up some of the answers. Once you're used to the fundamentals and patterns, if you go over the practice exercises, you'll be able to solve the hard questions too.
はい、やってみます。
And Chieri turns to the question sheet with a serious look on her face. I watch a friend and Chieri struggle as I help Mikuri, who is having trouble with English. They both finished their questions at around the same time and put their pens on the table.
正直、10分で答えを見るのは釈然としないです。
What's important is going back to try the ones you couldn't figure out later. Not being able to solve them is frustrating, right? If you learn to solve the problems you couldn't before, and then it shows that you're improving.
だといいんですけど。
Chieri looks doubtful. I guess it's hard to really feel much improvement after only a day. But I'm sure she will be able to solve them.
英語とか無理。日本人は日本語だけ話してればいいんだよ。
I guess that even Beach Folk identify as Japanese people too.
今、獣人でも日本人って感覚はあるんだって思いませんでした?
No. For some reason, the look on Chieri's face is kind of cold. I'm sorry, was that rude of me?
いえ、そう思うのも無理はないと思います。国の文化や伝統の多くは、その国の人間によって作られたものですから。だから獣人は、国への帰属意識という意味では、人間よりも薄いと思います。ですが、その文化の中には、獣人の寄与も少しはあると思います。今では獣人が人間社会に溶け込んで暮らしていますしね。それに、みくりさんが巫女であるように、人間にも獣人にも共通する文化もあります。だから私たち獣人にも、多少は国の意識があります。当然ながら、個人差もあると思いますけど。
I see.
私たちは人間じゃねえ。獣人なんだよ。
People who are beasts. Just as Nana said, the beast folk don't see themselves as humans with animal ears and tails. They see themselves as something completely different from humans. When Chieri was explaining things, I think I got the same kind of feeling.
これ以上は頑張れないよ。だからゆずきくん、昨日言ってたご褒美ちょうだい。
Did you decide on what you want?
なでなでして。
Wow, who would have guessed? It's crazy that she's saying this in front of Chieri too. See, when I brought it up last night, at least then she was alone with him, I guess. She asks for something completely unexpected, so much so that even Chieri is frozen in shock. You want me to pet you?
父様や母様みたいになでなでしてほしいの。なでてなでて。
Mikuri moves her head close to me to make it easy for me to pet her. I didn't think this is a situation where I can refuse. I don't think this is a situation where I can refuse. Well then, if you don't mind. I reach my right hand out and lightly touch Mikuri's head. I gently slide my hand from the top of her head to the tips of her dog ears, trying to not push too much force into it. Put too much force into it. Mikuri's hair is so smooth. It feels very nice to the touch and make me want to pet her even more. And the fur on her dog ears is so soft and fluffy.
そうそう、そんな感じ。
It looks like she likes it this way, so I keep hitting her head and ears.
ゆずきくん、撫でるの上手だね。
Well, I'm sure he's pet his fair share of dogs. Am I? It was the same when I touched Nana's head, but feeling how warm and soft it is, it makes me want to touch her forever. Mikuri was the one who requested it in the first place, but now I'm even more into it than she is.
もういいよ。ありがとう。
Okay, sure thing. I reluctantly pulled my hand away from Mikuri's head.
いひひ。ゆずきくんに撫でられちゃった。
So like, he turns to Chieri. So like, do you want to get pet too?
あれ？ちえりちゃんも撫でて欲しかった？なあ、そんなわけないじゃないですか。大体ですね、獣人は簡単に人に耳を触らせるものではありません。
Oh, really?
獣人の耳と尻尾は獣人の象徴であり、急所でもあります。だから特別な人にしか触らせません。
Well, I'm sure beast folk ears are as vital as human ears. Special people.
家族とか、恋人とか。
Really? Was what I did okay, Mikuri?
ゆずきくんだったらいいよ。そもそも私の方からお願いしたんだし。
I wonder, just what am I to Mikuri? How would I explain? It's kind of hard to say exactly what you are to Mikuri. I just don't know. Now that I think about it, I touched Nana's ears the first time I came to Sataria. That might have been really inappropriate of me. I should apologize to her later. Now then, we've done a fair bit of studying, so let's take a little break. I'll go get some kind of snack.
じゃあちょっとテレビでも見てよーっと。
新たな色、新たな味。ルビーチョコレートを使用した新しい時代のチョコレート。チョコレートは雪。
ちえりちゃん、今リモコン触った？
As they brought up chocolate, right? So what is the link to ruby chocolate? What is Chieri's link to ruby chocolate?
すみません、ちょっと。ちえりちゃんが見たい番組があるならそっちでいいよ。でもテレビってすごいよね。こんな板の中に人が入ってるなんて。
Yeah, they're stuck in the flat panel for your entertainment.
板？もう令和ですよ。いつの時代のネタですか。冗談だよ。さすがに人が入ってないのは分かってるって。そんなの誰に教わって。ナナ先輩しかいませんね。
I'm sure Nana had to explain it to Mikuri while she was watching her play games. You've been using your brains, so I thought some sugar. Oh,
別に無理に探さなくても大丈夫です。お構いなく。
it's just some kiwi fruit. Do you not like kiwis? When I show her the kiwi, Cherry's ears and tail go straight up.
キウイはダメです。
You don't like kiwi?
嫌いというわけじゃないんですけど。
Then why?
嫌いです。とにかくキウイはダメなんです。
That doesn't answer the question. Okay. There's an intense look of hostility on Cherry's face. It's very unlike her. Is it normal to get this upset over a food you hate?
すみません。せっかく出していただいたのに。
No, don't worry about it. Everyone has things they like and don't like.
私は食べる。
Mikuri eats the kiwi by herself, and we get back to studying.
いらっしゃいませ。
It's the Saturday right before exams start. Since Chieri decided that she was going to do her work shifts on top of her studies, she needs to do her best here as well. But there's been a lot of customers since we opened this morning.
たまにはこんな日もあるんです。
The customers haven't stopped arriving since we started our shifts. It'd be rude to bring this up, but this is the first time I've ever seen Sataria this busy.
コンパナ生クリーム増しマロキーノ入ります。はいゆずきくん、カプチーノできたよ。ケーキも冷蔵庫から出して持って行って。
Got it. Since there are still things like espresso that we don't know how to make, all of that work falls on Ichika's shoulders, which hurts.
ゆずきくんとちえりちゃんは頃合いを見て交代で休憩してね。
So, like, is she just not going to teach you how to make an espresso? Are you going to be okay, Ichika? You've been working non-stop.
ありがとう。でも私、こう見えて体力はある方なんだよ。
Her face breaks into an effortless smile to accompany her words. Just amazing. I mean, I'm sure the apple doesn't fall far from the entrepreneur tree, I guess. I don't know what would her mum be labeled as? A business mogul, a landlady, something, landowner.
ご来店ありがとうございました。
Business owner, coffee enthusiast.
いらっしゃいませ。こちらのお席にどうぞ。
So that's one cake set with original blend for the coffee. Understood.
はい、パンケーキセットできました。お願いします。
It looks like we'll be this busy for a while. Upon the intrusion,
お疲れ様。おまんじゅうあるよ。ありがとうございます。いただきます。今日は疲れました。ごめんね。私がアルバイト入れなくて。いえ、みくりさんのせいではないです。それに、みくりさんはアルバイトどころじゃないですからね。それは言わない約束だよ。
today we're studying for exams yet again. There's only a little more time until they begin. Even if we're tired from working today, we can't afford to skip studying, but... Chieri, you should work on doing some civil reviewing today.
ダメです。 バイトも勉強も手を抜きたくないって言ったじゃないですか。
This isn't about slacking off. It's about efficiency. You already understand a fair amount of this, Jerry, so you don't need to overdo it. If you try to study when you're already tired, you'll just end up getting even more tired more quickly. And reviewing is an important part of studying. Even if you think you understand something you've learned, there may still be parts you don't fully grasp. You don't grasp yet. Since we're here doing this, if you take this chance to solidify your knowledge, your grades will definitely go up.
はい、わかりました。
Now convinced, Chieri opens her English textbook up. Opens her English textbook up and starts reviewing its content. Okay, Mikuri, hand me your math notes. We can go over them along with your homework.
全然解けなかったよ。
Well, you do this. You do all this, so it is what it is. I think it'll be hard for you to even get an average score, so let's just try to avoid failing. But wouldn't the average... Well, no, I guess not. You need to do your best so that you can keep working at Tataria too. It's true that, as she currently is, it would be really hard for her to get high marks. But since I'm the one who's helping her out, I could see that she's slowly beginning to understand. Okay, you entered more correctly this time, but you're making some mistakes in the formulas, so let's review those before the exams. We have shifts again tomorrow, so be sure to go to bed early.
わかってます。言われなくても遅くまで勉強したりしませんから。
It's crazy they're focusing so much on this whole like exam study group arc, but they every opportunity they have to show them at school, they just skip over those parts. So like, you know, are you telling me that they're not going to do the same? Right? Is it not going to be like, okay, now after the study sessions are over, right? After this arc is over, you know, they do the exams, and then we fucking, instead of, you know, talking about it at school, it's with they talk about it in fucking Sataria or something, right? So they could just completely skip over all of the exams and stuff, even though we're focusing so much on this studying part.
では、また明日。
Yeah, see you tomorrow. It's become normal for me to see Chieri off after we've studied at night. Watch her back and her tail until they both disappear around the corner. Who knows, maybe I'm wrong. Sunday, Chieri and I are on shift from morning until afternoon.
フロアの掃除終わりました。
I'm done with the outside as well.
サンキュー。じゃ、開店準備は大体終わりだな。
Just as I'd expect from her, Chieri has been working really hard since she declared that she wanted to do her best at both the job and her studies. But why is she working in the first place?
白川さん、どうかされましたか？
No, it's nothing.
んじゃ、開店すんぞ。お前らキビキビ働けよ。
その言葉、ナナ先輩にそっくりそのままお返しします。
言ったな、生意気な。
I'll do my best to keep up with you both.
寝ちゃいましたね。
But but the song said a yawning cat. But Mikuri's a dog. Never mind. No wonder. It looks like she's been studying since first thing in the morning. She's snoring comfortably, her arms and head laid out on the kotatsu table. Once in a while, her ears twitch.
すごいですよね、みくりさん。里から出てきたばかりで全然わからないはずなのに、こんなに勉強して。
That's because she won't be able to work if she gets bad marks. I'm sure she'll do her best, so she can keep working at Satario.
バイトを続けるために。
Chieri gazes at Mikuri's sleeping face. She's not smiling, but there's the barest hint. Just a tiny bit of happiness there. You're pretty much ready, right? You're pretty much ready, right, Chieri?
試験範囲は一通り終わりました。ですが、数学の応用問題があんまり自信がなくて。
Her expression doesn't say not so sure as much as it says not sure at all. Her face looks like she wants to apologize for not understanding it despite my helping her. Okay then, let's do something else as a change of pace. We leave a note for Mikuri and head to the path behind Satario. It's so beautiful.
海に反射する夕焼けが見事だったことから、夕凪町という名前がついたそうです。
That's yet one more thing that about this town that I like.
でもいいんでしょうか。テスト直前にこんなことをしていて。
We're doing this because exams are so close. You need to refresh yourself, have a change of pace once in a while. As expected, Chieri doesn't seem convinced. In that case... Chieri, you've done your best, right? You did your best, right?
はい、頑張ったと思います。
Then you'll do fine, I think.
強引すぎませんか?
If you keep thinking that you can't do it, then you really won't be able to. Even if it doesn't make sense, you have to accept them. You have to accept that. I say that I can, so I can.
いえ、でも。
See? See, looking at that sunset, see? What? See, looking at that sunset, it makes you kind of feel like you can, doesn't it? If you say that you can, you can.
どういう理屈ですか。もう、わかりましたよ。できるって言えばいいんですよね。
Well, that's right. I'm sure you've got this, Chieri. And Chieri's lips curl into a pout, but she doesn't look so down anymore. When you think about it, taking things as they come is a way of coping with them. If you focus on one thing too much, it'll just drag you down.
白川さんが頼りになるのかならないのか、未だによくわからないです。
The light of the orange sunset and the wind from the ocean wash over us. I hope that this was a nice change of pace for Chieri, since all she's been doing is studying and working. And I'm sure her home situation isn't that good. Isn't that swell? My senses taking the sound of the rippling waves and the feeling of the sea breeze surrounding us as we sit silently. The sky at sunset is beautiful, and it's kind of hard to go back to the dorm. I'd love to be able to sit here enjoying the silence until the sun finishes setting, But I don't have that luxury.
白川さんは私たちのことが怖くないんですか？
What? Huh? In the end, Chieri is the first to break the silence. I'm too surprised to do more than make a dumb noise, but Chieri continues on with a serious look on her face and tone in her voice.
私たちは獣人です。動物の耳や尻尾が生えている人間とは違う生き物です。
I mean, you'd make a convincing argument if you were like a werewolf or something, but when the only difference between a beast folk and a human in this context is that you have animal ears and an animal tail, it doesn't really make sense.
なのに不気味とか気持ち悪いとか思わないんですか？そんな私たちが白川さんをどうにかしてしまうかもって思わないんですか？
Not at all. I don't think you're scary or disgusting.
ナナ先輩に脅されたりもしたのに。
I mean, I was into it, so... Oh wait, no, I can't say that until the second year. Well, I know she was joking now, and now that I know all of you, even if you told me to be scared, I don't think I could.
そうですか。やっぱりそうなんですね。
Especially since I think he's, you know, probably taller than most of you. Maybe Nana's a bit taller than him, but, you know, Chieri, Yuzuki, Ichika, and Mikuri are definitely probably shorter than him. Chieri's voice is a little softer now. I can't tell if she's convinced or not.
変だって。気持ち悪いって言ってくれたら楽なのに。これじゃあ白川さんを疑ってた私がバカみたいじゃないですか。
Her angry bitter voice echoes in the evening sky. But that anger isn't aimed at me.
ごめんなさい。私、最低です。とても失礼なことを言いました。獣人をさらいに来た悪い魔法使いなんじゃないかって。
I mean, look, I don't think you need to apologize for having those thoughts, especially since it's kind of weird that he can see your ears and tail, even though you've got that fucking talisman, right? So it's a valid concern.
白川さんは悪い人じゃないのに巻き込まれただけなのに。チラシを拾ってくれていつも優しくしてくれたのに、そんな人のこと私疑ってしまいました。やっぱり怒ってますよね。
That did happen, didn't it?
はい。
Now that I think about it, she did say those things. At some point, she stopped saying saying them though. I'm sorry, I forgot.
私の謝罪を返してください。
I never needed it anyway. So can I give it back just as it is?
そういう意味じゃないです。
Then what can I do?
こっちのセリフです。
Chieri had been on the verge of tears, but now she's bubbling up with anger. But I don't possess the skills to calm her down. Well, you aren't... Okay. Is it safe to say Yuzuki is one of the denser protagonists that I've come across? Or I guess in a broader way to say it, he's one of the denser visual novel protagonists written in general. Alright, let's go with that.
もう
Chieri, now upset, turns to the evening sky and
私のバカーついでに白川さんもバカー
Wait, me too? Yes, especially you. Feel better?
はい
Chieri composes herself as she gasps for air. And so I wait for Chieri to calm down.
でも白川さんが忘れてても忘れてなくても謝るべきだと思います。本当にごめんなさい。
Chieri straightens her back and her ears, and then she bows her head to me. She's bowed so deeply that I begin to feel bad. Since she's gone this far, it wouldn't be right for me to dismiss her apology. Okay, I understand. This has been bothering you the whole time, huh? I'm sorry about that, Chieri, but I really had forgotten until you said something. It doesn't bother me at all, and I'm not angry. So don't let it bother you either, okay? As your co-worker at Sataria, and as your friend, and soon-to-be love interest, but, you know, the comments wanted Miyuki first, so you're gonna have to wait. It would make me happy for us to get along from here on. From here on. It looks like Chieri is finally smiling. She's so very beautiful, bathed in the orange light of the setting sun. And you're not the worst. You're a kind of gentle person, Chieri. No doubt about it, I guarantee.
別に保証とかしなくていいです。
No, don't say that. You should be more confident in yourself.
意外と頑固なんですから。
Not as much as you, though.
どういう意味ですか？
Crap, I let it slip.
もう
Chieri is cute when she's angry, too. Though if I say that, she'll get upset. Sorry. Okay, we should head back to get studying again. So do your best on the exams, Chieri.
はい。
Huh? I thought you weren't working a shift today, Chieri.
テストが返ってきたので、そのご報告に。この間はお世話になりました。
What I fucking tell you? They just skipped over the whole point we're doing these fucking study sessions. We're focusing on the study sessions. So you came all this way for that? Thank you. Chieri carefully bows her head, not unexpected from someone who was so polite. So, how did the exams go?
初めて全教科で80点以上取れました。不安だった数学のテストも最後まで解けましたし、白川さんのおかげです。
So what you're saying is that changing your attitude paid off?
そうですね。あの時は困りましたけど。
I mean, I'm glad we're getting a payoff, but like, you know, the how do I explain this? The payoff is a bit rushed, especially for how long we were focused on them studying. And I mean, like, I get that the actual reason why they had that arc was for Chieri and Yuzuki to get closer together and for her to apologize to Yuzuki for the things she said to him, and something strengthened the bond together. But like, you know,
ちょっと間違えたところもあって満点ではなかったんですけど、今までで一番いい点数でした。本当にありがとうございます。
just listen, just like with how they just like with how the writers had to follow through with the answer with the test results, right? I had to follow through with confirming that I was right. that I was right in how they were going to completely skip over the exam portion and just skip to the results. It's because you worked so hard, Chieri. All I did was blather at you from the sidelines.
いいえ、白川さんのおかげです。あと、これはお礼です。ちゃんと自分のバイト代から出しました。
As she says that, Chieri pulls out a box of expensive-looking sweets. You don't have to get me anything. On the other hand, these look amazing, so I'll gladly accept them.
はい、どうぞ。
美味しそうな匂いがする。
You know, Mikuri, she never actually got to do the exam because she was sleeping through the entire. She slept through the entire week. Mikuri comes into the lounge, drawn in by the smell of the sweets. I can't smell anything because they're still wrapped up, but I guess that's no obstacle for a beast folk, for a dog beast folk.
ゆずきくんがお菓子持ってる。
言っておきますが、これはお礼として白川さんに差し上げたものですから、みくりさんの分ではないですからね。
Now, don't say that. Mikuri, how did your exams go?
私も頑張ったんだよ。ほら。
Barely passed. Mikuri spreads her answer sheets onto the table. 40 points, 37 points, 39 points, 42 points, and 65 points in Japanese. Wow, that's high.
どう？赤点はないでしょ？
That's pretty high compared to her other results.
予想はしていましたが、実際に点数を見ると衝撃がありますね。
But there's definite progress. There's definite progress compared to when we started. You did well.
でしょでしょ？ふふん。
なぜでしょう。みくりさんのあの顔を見ていると少し苛立ちを覚えます。
本当になんで？
With this, Mikuri can keep working the Sataria. I'm glad she was able to avoid failing anything. Okay, let's enjoy these together. Mikuri, you too. Chieri. Yeah, let's enjoy these together, Mikuri. You too, Chieri.
では、お言葉に甘えて。
I make some instant coffee, and we sit down to enjoy the sweets that Chieri brought. The cookies and chocolate have a refined sweetness to them, just as I'd expect from sweets selected by Chieri.
獣人の里では学校がなかったのに、今回みくりさんはとても頑張ったと思います。
えへへ、ちえりちゃんにも褒められちゃった。
しかし、今回は赤点を超えることが目標でしたが、ずっとそのレベルではいけません。今まで勉強していなかった分をこれから取り返しましょう。1年の範囲は私が見ます。
Mikuri's voice rings out in surprise, like she's just like she's just fallen from heaven into hell.
ゆずきくん、助けて。
I agree with Chieri. I think we can work at things bit by bit, and I'll tutor you as well.
テストなんて大嫌い。
It's now December, and the weather has been getting colder. But despite that, Tataria is as prosperous as ever. Well, okay. No. Well, okay, no. But it's open as per usual.
久しぶりのアルバイト帰ってきたよ愛しのセタリア。
言い方がなんかキモい。
ねえ、いいじゃない、久々なんだしさ。
With a smile, Mikuri rubs her face against the table. I don't know if this is a reaction to her having had to study this whole time, but it feels like she's more aggressive than usual.
マジでやめろ。テーブルが犬毛だらけになるから。
Really?
人というか種類にもよりますが、寒毛期とかすごいですよ。毎日ブラッシングするのが嫌になるくらいです。
But where's the fur? Right? Because like, if you're talking about the hair, well, that's hair. That's not fur.
こう見えて耳と尻尾の手入れには気使ってんだ。ちゃんとシャンプーもしてんだぞ。
And if you're only talking about your ears and tail, once again, well, not once again, there's just not enough fur on them to worry. That must be a lot of trouble. Even if they only have ears and a tail, they're still the same as dogs and cats in that respect. In that aspect. In that respect, it works. And when you take into account the size difference, dogs and cats probably have less fur to deal with than... Dogs and cats probably have less fur to deal with since they're smaller. Okay. You are... Okay, let me think about it. In terms of a Russian blue and an American short hair, right? The two cats. I could see where he's coming from. But a Pomeranian and a toy poodle, while also small, have a lot of fur. Alright? And unlike a beast folk, the fur covers their entire body. So are you really going to tell me that there is more fur on a beast folk's ears and tail than the respective species' entire body? Yeah, I guess.
みくりさん、本当に嬉しそうですね。
Especially, not to mention the fact that any beast folk whose species they're based off have shorter ears or tails, right, means that they're gonna have a lot less fur than, you know, beast folk that have longer or bigger ears or tails.
だってちえりちゃんと一緒にお仕事できるからね。付き合い。
After so many attempts at making Chieri be honest with her feelings, Mikuri has finally caught her.
ようやくちえりちゃんをギュってできたよ。私の長年の思いが通じたのかな。
みくりさんが変なことを言うから驚いてかわい損ねただけです。そもそも出会って1ヶ月ぐらいしか経ってないじゃないですか。
ちえりちゃん抱き心地最高。スリスリ。
聞いてない。
Mikuri clings to Chieri as if she's trying to make up for all the time that her hugs were dodged in the past. Over the past month, she's like a puppy, get it? That just got bigger, not older.
大満足。
不覚です。次は絶対買わしてみせますからね。なんだかんだで結構仲いいよな、お前ら。
久しぶりにみんな揃ったね。
Chieri, Ichika, Nana, and Mikuri. It seems like it's been a long time since I met them all. Learning that they're beast folk, and then learning about their rules back then. Yeah, learning about their rules back then. I would never have imagined that I would be friends with them like I am now. Now that I think about it, I wonder what happened. What would have happened if I hadn't agreed to work here at Sataria? Well, if you never agreed to work here, then we wouldn't have a game. In order to not break the rule that we must not expose our true identities to any human without a connection to us, I started working at Sataria to become connected. I didn't really have many other options, but I wonder what I would be doing right now if I had turned them down.
獣人のことをたまたま知っちまったやつには秘伝の薬をくれてやるのさ。獣人のことだけきれいさっぱり忘れる特製の忘れ薬よな。普通はこれで一件落着だ。
What? That's it?
お前どんな想像してたんだ？
For some reason, she gives me an exasperated look. I don't know. You're the one who joked about eating him, so I don't know why you're asking him. You said you were going to eat me, Nana, so I expected something more ominous.
あの掟はずいぶん昔にできたものですけど、100年前ならともかく、今は忘れ薬があるので、そんなことはしません。そもそも、獣人であることがバレてしまうのって、大抵獣人が耳隠しを忘れている時なんです。
そう。だから、薬で忘れさせれば一発ってわけ。だけどお前の場合は、見えてる以上、忘れさせてもまた会ったらバレるからな。だから困ってたんだ。
ゆずきさんみたいに、見えるけど獣人を知らないっていう人はほとんどいません。だから、ゆずきさんはかなり特殊なケースなんですよ。
So that's how you deal with things. And now I know how the beast folk managed to keep their existence a secret. I'm surprised at how much I still don't know about them, but the answers were unexpectedly simple.
おっと、おしゃべりしすぎたな。
いらっしゃいませ。こちらのお席へどうぞ。
閉店作業おしまい。今日もお疲れ様でした。言いたいんだけど、その前に大事な話いいかな。
Ichika says, as she looks at all of our faces. But Nana is smiling, so I think she may already know what she's going to say. Does it have something to do with Sweet's tale?
なになに？いい話？おいしい話？
店長と相談したんだけど、今年のクリスマスイブは特別な営業をしようと思ってるの。名付けて
セタリアクリスマスフェスだ。
So it has nothing to do with Sweet's tale. I guess we're gonna have to focus more on Sweet's tale in the second game.
あ、先に言われちゃった。
へへ、早い者勝ちだぜ。
子供じゃないんですから。
Speaking of birds, so if there are bird beast folk, how do they feel about that saying, you know? Does it apply to them especially as... does it apply to them more than it would to any other species? Ichika doesn't seem to mind, and Nana seems awfully proud for some reason. I've gotten used to seeing Chieri being exasperated at Nana though.
セタリアではクリスマスに特別な催しはしてなかったんだけど、今年は人が増えたからちょっと欲張ってみようかなって。賛成です。ただでさえ売り上げが不安定なんですから、稼げる時に稼がないといけません。
私も賛成。 なんか楽しそう。
ゆずきさんはどうですか？人手が必要なので、ゆずきさんが反対だと断念せざるを得ないんですが。
Now, hang on a minute. Don't you fucking dare try to guilt trip him, alright? I mean, he's gonna say yes anyway, but like... No, don't say that. It's okay with me, of course. It sounds like it'll be a special Christmas.
それならよかったです。
Ichika smiles at our unanimous agreement. She always seems quiet and reserved, but she's always reliable.
ところでさ。クリスマスって何？
何か知らないで賛成してたのかよ。
I mean, what'd you expect? That's right. It makes sense that she wouldn't know what Christmas is, since outside culture didn't really make it to her homeland. Yeah, KFC didn't either. That's especially why she doesn't know what Christmas is. And Christmas is God's birthday, I think. Jesus' birthday. Okay.
へえ、夕凪町の神様って誕生日あるんだ。うちの神様にも本当はあるのかな？
No, it's not Yunagicho is God, but how do I explain this? I think this is a topic for later.
クリスマスとクリスマスイブは違うの？
Listen, if the writers don't know anything about Catholicism, why did they have to bring it up? Not Christmas, but why would they have to bring up that Christmas represents something religious? The eve of Christmas Eve means evening, so nighttime.
あ、それ英語で習った。EVE だ。
That's right. It's the eve. A long time ago, in another country, the day started at sunset. So Christmas was the time between the sunset on the 24th and the next sunset. So that was kind of complicated. So now the night before Christmas is Christmas Eve.
へえ、ゆずきくん物知りだね。
Not really. It's just something I saw on TV a while back. You know, in between the hundreds of KFC ads linking it to Christmas, you learned a few history lessons about why Christmas Eve is why Christmas Eve is a thing. McCurry seems to be truly grateful after hearing my explanation of Christmas Eve. And to be honest, it's just something I happen to remember. But it's kind of nice being praised by McCurry. Also, it's unfortunate that I'm playing Amazing Grace. God fucking damn it. Amairo chocolate. Alright, listen, it's not my fault that, first of all, Amazing Grace and Amairo chocolate are made by the same studio. But second of all, AMA is the first three letters of both. Alright? Of both games. And it's not like, I mean, yeah, you can use Amar, but they also sound similar. They both start with a similar sounding word. Never mind. Listen. It's also because of Christmas. Alright? Amazing Grace was all about Christmas too. Even more so about Christmas. Heavily in Christmas. Alright? So I don't know why I was talking about the rioters and not knowing anything about Catholicism, considering how deep into religion Amazing Grace got. But, you know, either way, never mind. So, what will we be doing on Christmas?
店内の 飾り付けをして特別メニューを用意しようと思ってます。町の人はみんな広場に行くと思うから、営業時間はいつも通りの予定ですね。
I'm just trying to say it's a shame that I started playing Amairo Chocolate after Christmas.
クリスマスイブの夜になると広場がクリスマス用に飾り付けされるんです。毎年たくさんの人が来るんですよ。
Just as you'd expect from a town that was established by people from Europe, it really does feel like a foreign country here.
あと仮装ですね。ハロウィンのようにお化けに仮装して騒ぐんです。さすがにトリックオアトリートはやりませんが、日本でハロウィンが定着する前からこの夕凪城ではクリスマスイブに仮装する風習があったそうですよ。
Huh? I wonder if parts of Halloween got mixed in with their Christmas traditions. I guess I can see how that could happen.
みんなは仮装する？私とナナちゃんはしないつもりだけど。私もいいです。子供の時にやりましたから。
今だって子供みたいなもんじゃん。
精神的にはナナ先輩より大人です。
へへん、どうだか。
よくわかんないけど、私やる。
Should I? There's still some time until Christmas, so I'll make my decision between now and then.
クリスマスフェスが終わったらみんなはどうすんだ？一人寂しくケーキ食うのか？
That would definitely be depressing. Being alone doesn't bother me, but since I've made friends here, I'd like to spend it with them. I'd like to spend it with someone. Oh. Well, here it is. The first choice. I don't know if it's the only one, because it's been a while since I saw the guide, but I was waiting for this to show up. Like I said at the start of the episode, we're going down McCurry's route, because Wolf really likes McCurry. And listen, alright? I don't mean to keep calling her dumb, alright? It's just the word that pops into my head at the moment I try to think of a word to describe her, alright? I know calling her naive is more accurate, but like, you know, my brain isn't that big. So either way, we're starting with McCurry. And, well, you know, she is at the top. So it would be fun to spend it with you, McCurry.
私もそう思う。
How about we go to the town square together in the evening on Christmas Day?
やったー、ゆずきくんと一緒だ。
Her carefree smile feels very bright. I'm happy too. I'm glad I decided to ask her.
細かい予定はこれから相談して決めていこうね。それじゃあ今日もお疲れ様でした。
I can't sleep tonight. So I head to the roof and discover someone's already there. McCurry is performing the Kagura dance enveloped in a divine atmosphere. I mean, I don't know what you expected. You found her here on the roof last time. Bathed in the light of the balcony. She seems even more spiritual than usual, and the scene is breathtaking. Not wanting to bother her, or to be honest, because I'm awestruck, I stand there motionless, watching until she finishes. She lets out a breath as she relaxes, and when she removes her Chihaya coat, the Mikuri I'm most familiar with is back.
ゆずきくんだ。こんばんは。さっき別れたばっかりだけど。
Good evening. You were performing the Kagura dance again. Do you do it every day?
毎日じゃないよ。知りたいことがあった時とか、なんとなくその気になった時だけ。
Did you want to know about God?
今日はセタリアでクリスマスフェスがうまくいくか神様に聞いてたんだ。
Oh, okay. She wasn't. She didn't want clarification on whose birthday they're celebrating on Christmas. She just wanted to know how it was going to go. Did they answer?
絶対うまくいくって。
Then I can relax. Then I can relax. I can't hear the voices of the gods, but Mikuri's smile is enough to convince me. If she says it's okay with a smile on her face, then it feels like it really will be okay.
ゆずきくんは何か心配なこととかない？私が神様に聞いてあげるよ。
Is it okay to ask questions of the gods like that?
いいんじゃない？私はお願いされたら待ってたよ。
So she's fine with it being that simple. This still feels like an overly casual way to interact with the gods to me. No, I'm okay. There isn't anything I'm particularly worried about right now. And if there was, I'd just try to do my best to take care of it. I don't think I want to know the future enough to ask for you to do that, Mikuri.
先のことがわからないのって怖くない？
Well, it is a little scary, but that feels like the natural order of things to me. Mikuri is staring in my direction. The expression on her face is like she's looking at something unusual, just like when we first reunited in Sataria. Okay, yeah, no.
私は神様の声が聞こえるのが当たり前だけど、ゆずきくんは違うんだね。
It's just weird for him to say reunited. You know, when you hear the word reunited, you're usually thinking like two people haven't met each other in a very long time, but like for the use that he's using it in, goddammit, they only met like a few minutes ago. It was only like an hour at the most in between when they first met and the second time they met. Yeah, what's natural for one person might not be for others. What's natural is different for everyone, and someone could build their whole world around something that's natural only to themselves. I wonder what's natural for Mikuri, and what her world is like. Mikuri, your homeland is in the mountains, right? Does it feel lonely to be so far from home?
全然っていうのは嘘。ちょっと寂しい。ここには父様も母様もいないし、神様も違うから。だけど帰りたいって思ったことはないよ。ここにはゆずきくんやちえりちゃん、いちかちゃん、ななちゃんがいるから。でもテストの時だけは別ね。あの時は本当に里に帰りたくなったんだから。
But you really worked hard then, Mikuri.
ゆずきくんは？ゆずきくんも一人でここに来たんでしょ？
It's true. I feel a little lonely sometimes, but not when I'm with you.
そっか、ゆずきくんも同じなんだ。
Whenever I see Mikuri smile, I just forget any loneliness or anxiety or anxiousness I feel. Once again, I'm glad that I met Mikuri in this town. We came here to Unigicho because of a portent from the gods, right? Do you know what they meant by go outside?
全然。 様の声って、ああしろ、こうしろって言うけど、理由は説明してくれないから。危ないって聞こえた時も、実際に起こるまで何のことかわかんないんだもん。
That must be rough. You'd think it would be useful to be able to hear the voices of the gods, but it sounds like they're so vague that it's more likely to trip you up. I wonder why they told you to go outside then. Because they don't want her to stay a kissless virgin, alright?
さあ、やらなきゃいけないことがあるのかもしれないし、実はもう終わってるのかもしれないし、神様の気まぐれかもしれないし。
You know, because there weren't any other kids her age in the town. She couldn't marry anyone over there. So the gods said, in order for you to marry someone and have kids with them, you have to leave the village and go outside. If you did know, once you completed the goal, what would you do, Mikuri? What would you do, Mikuri?
多分、里に帰るんじゃないかな。父様や母様、それに里のみんなも待ってるから。帰らなかったら寂しがると思うよ。
Oops. I see. I kind of regret having to ask now. I don't want to imagine Mikuri going home, even if it isn't going to be for a while.
ゆずきくんはどうするの？ゆずきくんだって、もともと住んでた場所があるんでしょ？
What will I do? What will I be doing? I came to Unikicho because my father told me to live on my own, but there's no present duration. My previous apartment had a 1-year lease, so I think he was planning on my living here. Planning on me living here for at least that long. I think I'll be in Unikicho until I graduate from the academy, but after that, I'm not sure. I might stay here, or might go home, or I might do neither and head somewhere else.
そっか、ゆずきくんでもわかんないんだ。でも、ずっと一緒にいられたらいいね。ゆずきくん？
Oh, it's nothing. I'm okay. I just spaced out for a moment after hearing Mikuri's words and seeing her smile. I try to find the words to express how I feel, but I don't think I'll be able to do so. Yeah, I'd like to stay with you too, Mikuri. A child will someday learn their parents, will leave their parents, learn. It's difficult for anyone to stay with someone else forever, but I don't think it's useless to hope for that. You're beautiful as you performed the Kagura dance, Mikuri.
本当？そんなこと言われたの初めて。
Yeah, really. But maybe I shouldn't just be talking about how beautiful you were. It's a sacred ritual after all.
いいのいいの。褒められちゃった。
Mikuri smiles really happily. I'm glad that I decided on a whim to go up to the balcony tonight. No, the truth might be that I was hoping to run into Mikuri up here from the start.
動いたら眠くなってきた。じゃあ、おやすみ。
Well, let's hope you're not so tired that you wake up and walk into the lobby naked again. Good night. I see Mikuri off, waving my hand lightly. I look up at the night sky for a bit longer before going back to my own room.